screen. Let me share my screen with you. Hope you're able to see my screen. So from today, we are actually starting AWS. Last week was just a curtain raiser session. And let me show you, this is what I was talking about last week. This is the help sheet, which I'm going to share with you all. So I will give you viewer access. Just pasting it on the chat. So take this and then bookmark this Google Sheet so that all our transcripts which we are going to discuss, any comment or any commands or anything that seems to be important to me or to you. You could also just give your feedback. If something has to be written here, we could do that. You can see last week's session. I have just made a transcript of whatever we discussed, plus some more notes I have just added, which we may discuss today. So all this, I will just have it tab by tab, probably one day, one tab, or depending on what we are covering, maybe one tab will have 3-4 days. If it is going to be, for example, today we are going to discuss identity access management. So if we are going to discuss for tomorrow also, it will continue, but nevertheless, it will have a date and time. So in case if you want to have a video recording, listening to video recording and parallelly want to just try that out, you could use this as a transcript and then you could just try. Okay, for some explanations, everything will be there. Of course, spelling mistakes will be there. I'm just writing it on the run. So this is the sheet. Just a small description about the sheet. The beginning will have any announcement I need to make. For example, if there is a time change or we have to cancel or we have to postpone or something like that, I will just do it here. You could also, you may not be able to write, but you could also always right click and comment on this. So time to time, I will read the comment before the next session and I'll either respond here or if it is a genuine doubt that everyone has, I will respond in the class, but I will take all the doubts or any feedback that you want to provide. Better if you are having it exactly on that page. For example, in IAM, if you have a doubt, then you can write a comment on the IAM itself, or if it's a generic one, you can just put it anywhere. Anyway, I will be able to see that. So announcement is something which we all will see. This is like something like a broadcast when we are not in the session. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Michael. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah. Just quick question, because you mentioned in the last class last week that the times were going to be changing. I just wanted to confirm that it's because I see it's still the same time. Is that still going to be the case tomorrow and the
Till
following
the
week?
same time, yes, for this week, but I have for this week alone because they could not materialize that. But I think next week it will change. I guess this is going to become sometime around 5 to 7 p.m. Right now it is 8 to 10 p.m. here. So it will be pushed some 3 hours before. I guess I'm not very sure. I'll confirm that. Once confirmed, I'll put it here. And also you will get it with the support team also.
Okay.
As of now, this time is only for today.
Okay. Thanks.
I guess today and tomorrow, because this week they could not do anything. It was a short notice, I guess. Right, true. Right. So we don't want any clash. So we'll push it or we will just make it sometime in the evening, whichever is comfortable. I think Sumant will discuss with you. Right. Then this index, this is where all my legends are there. In due course, I might use a lot of legends. For example, I'll just something like this right now. So you will be understanding it in due course. When I'm using it, you'll get used to it. But in case if you want all the legends or what I mean, everything is here. You can just have that. And it is my responsibility to fill this up every end of the day. So today we are starting the session 2 on date and then what are all the topics which we have covered so that you can just skip to that topic, or if you want to have any view of a particular topic, all that something like a summary will be there in this index sheet. So I will just put that. I will keep this up to date every day. I will fill it up at the end of the day before when after we immediately we end the session. I'll put all the topics and subtopics. Like no, so and some useful info, that is whatever we cannot discuss. As I told you, it is a notion. So even from the service, associate point of view, I mean the certification associate point of view also, it's very huge that we may not be able to cover everything. If anything that is on focus which we have not covered, I'll put some helper points here which you could use to just assist yourself to learn more. As I told you, some deep learning is required, which this will be of some use. It may not be exhaustive, but whatever I can cover, I'll just make that right now. You want to share it in the GitHub? This link in the GitHub. I'll just share it again for the benefit of people who have joined later. You want to put this, is it a, no, it's not a GitHub. It's not a GitHub. It's just an Excel sheet. I mean, the Google sheet, which I'm just giving you so that you could open your Google sheet and then you could just bookmark it. It'll be available always. I'm not planning to delete it any soon. So it'll always be available for you right now. Um, yeah, you can. Only thing you can call using support. There are some protocols which you have to follow. So I may not be able to share my WhatsApp directly, but you can always reach out through the support team. I will always be available on the week for any of your support. Right now. Some of the slides, I may not
Hi,
take. Yeah,
Kalyan.
sure. Go ahead. Yeah, Mia.
Hello,
Yeah, Mia, go
Kalyan.
ahead.
Yeah, today my first class, so I missed last class. So, is there any technical discussions happened
No, no,
last?
no. Last week it was just just an introductory session, which you may not have missed much. But as I told you, all that which we have discussed, I have captured it in the cloud discussion tab, which you can see on the screen. So just you go
And
through.
yeah, this one can. How can we access this one?
I have just given in the chat. I have given the link. You can see some
Okay,
docs.google.com right now. I may not be sharing it on the Gmail ID since I don't have all of your Gmail ID. I would suggest that time to time today, I don't know how many people are going to join yet. So time to time, I will keep sharing this link again and again. Just open the link and then do the bookmark. Right now, I think bookmarking. So just do the bookmark so that it will always be
okay.
available for you on the browser tab. Right. So
Yes, one more request. Like, suppose you upload the last week session recording, that will
yeah,
also help me if it is not more
yeah,
depth
I'll
technical.
do one thing. I'll just take it as a point. Ask someone for last week record. We
I
didn't miss
spoke to
much.
Raj.
We just started last week, so only one class you would have missed, which is okay. We were just giving some intro. So,
Okay,
but if you need anything from there, we have not discussed anything on screen. In the sense, I was not doing
okay, okay, okay.
practical,
Understood.
so you can take the cloud discussion tab. Okay.
And one more thing, like even last, what are the previous recording there? There also some in recording some glitch is there. Like now also while speaking, it is not fully audible. Some break.
Is it so? Everyone is feeling that? Is everyone feeling that? Is it a break? Is my audio not clear?
Now it is okay, but after before some time some break is it was
Okay.
there.
If in case any problem, just you can chat with me. Either you can put it privately or you can just chat with me because interruption might not all might feel the audio interruption. If in case there is anything, just hint me in the chat so that I will just come closer to the mic, or if need be, I will log out and log in.
Okay,
There is a clash, and that's why they have wanted this one. Let's discuss about that. But I think this time is going to be changed in there. Let me confirm with you on the time that they are going to bring in, but this may not be the time. This 8 to 10 p.m. India time may not be the time. I will confirm with you on what is the time. It may not be 3 hours earlier also. It might be something in your evening. I don't know, but I'll confirm that. There you go. Okay, so this is the one that I said. Every week we will have a new tab and we will start, transcripting whatever we have, learned or we are learning right now. Right. So with that, as we discussed last week, we will just go for account creation. Quickly, we will make the account creation for the benefit of people who don't have the account. So I already have an account, which of course it is going to end for me, but I will try to make a new account. Okay, if possible. I don't know whether I have my credit cards and things like that, but I will walk you through the account creation process so that you could just, make the account creation along with me. Not necessary or not, it's not a mandatory thing that a day's time. in order to verify your credit card or some other details. So it may be lagging for a day, but that's not a problem. If you want to take a day or 2 days, that's okay. Today, whatever we are going to do, we are going to record it. And also I'm going to give you the transcript so you can just play back and then do the practice once your account is ready. But we will try to create the account and keep it active today itself. We'll try to activate today itself. If it is not activated, I will also let you know how you have to make the activation, right? So first I'm going to AWS Amazon. Just I'm taking, or maybe I can even say create account. Okay, so that it takes me to the sign up for free or whatever it is. Then I can just create the account. For people who are already having the signing. Okay, break. Is it a voice is breaking? Others?
Yes, sometimes it's the interruptions are there.
Okay, let me just here 1 second. Let me try to. Okay. Are you able to hear me now clearly? Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, yes, yeah. Now
Okay, okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, okay. Okay, I have changed the mic to the headset also. Let's try now. Okay, as I told you, we are going to create an account. For people who already have the account, you can start signing in, but just wait until others are creating the account. So I'm going to just press the create account button. So there are going to be some simple questions which we need to answer. So first, it's going to ask us for our email ID. Right now. So root user email access, it is going to ask me for my email. The email which you constantly access, you give that email, because time to time they give some announcement, or they may give you the billing related details. In case if you have any billing, then they may announce you at the end of the month or beginning of the month, they may give you the billing details. So better give the email, Gmail account or any email account which you are accessing very frequently. I have created something today. So I'm just going to give that account. Let's see. Let me give photos 3, something like that. Verify email address. So once I press the verification, it's going to ask me for the email verification which comes to my email. So let me give the number 469889. Verify. It has been successfully verified. So let me give a password. Okay. Remember, it's called as root user. Just remember this word. Later, when we are getting into the AWS account, we will discuss about the root user. Today, we are going to discuss all about IAM, Identity Access Management. The first lesson itself is going to be on root user. So let's just create the root user login and password. Publicly known through a data set. Okay, let me just do something else. Okay. So he is going to sign up. You can see here, once I have given my login, which is nothing but the email ID. In my case, it's a Gmail ID. And then I gave my password. He's asking me to choose between free and paid. Of course, we are going to choose free. You can see here that he is giving for 6 months right now. So right now, we will just choose the free plan. He's asking for all the details. Personal. Okay, so sign up for AWS. I'm going to do personal, and we will just do name, right? Let me just give my let me give some address. It need not be the full address. In fact, it is not preferred to give the full address. It just can give something which is relevant, but not fully correct. I'll tell you later why. He will accept address because it's a text field. So let me give I'm not lying, but at the same time, I'm not giving the full address. You can just Google AWS Amazon. Joe, you can just do AWS Amazon create account. So this one will take you. But if you want, this is the one. I'm just pasting it in the chat. It might look big, but again, Google it from AWS account create. Right? Let me just say. Just give it. So you can see here, he's going to ask for the account validation. He's making it through the credit or debit card. In India, we have UPI also. So mode of payment, different modes of payment. Whatever he is going to, verify with the amount, with the dollar, he's going to return it back. So it's going to be a debit and credit. And then what do they call that? They have a beautiful word for that. So penny verification or something like that. So that he is going to do. So he's asking me for verification. So let me give.
Credit
Let
card
me,
is mandatory, or we can pay from
no, no,
one
no.
of the.
Any mode of payment. It need not be credit or debit card. It could be as in India, it could be even the UPI also. But one mode of payment is mandatory because that's how he validates you as a verified user. You need to give. You cannot skip this.
Okay.
Kalyan, which is the convenient one from UPI and credit card?
See, UPI also you would have seen the moment you press UPI, he is
Yes.
going to have an automatic payment limit of 15,000, which means he can take 15,000 without your authorization. Rather,
Okay.
you can have debit or credit card. Here also he might have the authorization, but at least you can block the card.
Okay.
So to me, if the UPI does not have this automatic payment limit, this would have been better. Control is with me. But since it has this, this is a huge amount, so I would prefer credit card, wherein I would either block the card or I have these days you can even cancel the authorization.
Okay.
You
Card
can
$1,
give it.
$1, right?
Yeah, card authorization cancellation is available. So once
Okay.
now all has been centralized. So there is one company which is doing this cancellation. So you could also cancel if you feel that this is not good. So at least I have
Okay.
some control in credit. So I would go for credit card. Even
Okay.
debit card is better. If you have any debit card which is less than, let's say, $100 or 100 rupees, then that's also good.
Okay.
So let me just pause for a moment. Pause the screen. Just give me a moment. I will just give me in the meantime, you can also give your pay for people who are doing along with me. Just give your credit card information at your end. So it's going to be. Just have it. There is a question. Let me just unpause it for you. There is a question for, do you have a PAN? So you can conveniently say no. For region in India, you might have this question. For US, I don't know. You might have any kind of SSN or I don't know. Just you can verify. So this is for permanent account. So just for your accounting purposes. Yeah, we do free plan. Don't go for any business account. Do only the free plan. So I would press no. I would say no because I don't want to tag it to any of the taxable thing. So let's go ahead. So all I've done in this is just gave my card information and then I'm just giving my billing on all the other things. So he might verify. So he might now ask for me for authorization for payment. Yeah, this happens. Let me just go back. He is asking for the same information again. Just I will give the credit card information. Just giving that information again. In the meantime, if anyone has success, personal account, not business account. If in the meantime, if anyone has successfully, created the account, please do let me know. It might be slow here, so he's not able to authorize using my credit card. Maybe it is faster there. Yeah, I think there is connection reset. So maybe he's not able to access. That happens. In the meantime, if someone is able to go past this, just let me know. I'll try one more time with another card. Okay, that's great. That's great. I'll try with one more another card of mine. Okay, great, great. Sanjay, great. Let me try one time. If this doesn't go, I think you have got what I wanted to convey. So I'll just skip this. I will create it later. Yeah. I think there was a problem with the card. Mm, 54. Okay. Now, for the people who have created this account successfully, for people who have not created, I think it's a 3-4 step process. It may not be taking much time for you. So if you're not able to do it now because of any reason, that's okay. Just try to leisurely create it. So now let me just go ahead and do confirm your identity. Personal use, ownership, individual. Okay, I think this is okay. Let me just go and try AWS. I already have got my AWS. I'll try to log in and see whether it is able to take me in. Do you see that there are two types of, with the radio button, there are two types of users. By default, you have root user. You might remember that when you logged in through the root user. So always leave it at default. When you're going, always leave it at default. AWS, Amazon login. Just you give this. So it will take you to the relevant website. Google, AWS, Amazon login, and then it will take you to the relevant website. Wherever you are, just give. You can see here it has already logged me in. Right now. So instead, I will just take this and then I will just give. I'm giving my root user login. Okay, the one that I gave for logging in. This is a new user. I'm just giving it the new password. I'm just logging in.
The password, root user password, what we gave, right?
Okay. The one that you have given. Yes, the same thing.
Okay. Okay.
Now he might have sent a verification code to my Gmail account. Let me just check that 1 second. Yes. So here's 139499. Okay. So now, can you see that he's asking for MFA? What is MFA? Okay, sure. Harsha, you just try later. Sometimes there is an issue. Some of the credit cards or credit card bearing banks, he may not have direct authentication. So he may ask us to wait. So it could be because of that, but within 1 day he will respond. So you can try with any other credit card for all of people who have not got that. So you can try with any other credit card. If not, try with the same credit card 1 day later, that is tomorrow. So if it doesn't work, I'll tell you what to do, right now. Okay, I got that. Anup, you cannot use the same Gmail account. Try to use different accounts. That is also for the integrity purpose. You should not be using the same Gmail account. If you see the account that I'm using right now, I have created it today morning. Just for the purpose of using a new account, I have created it. It is not good from from the user perspective to use the same account. I'll tell you the reason also. Better always use a different account and also a different credit card. Better to use a different credit card. If you are having 3 accounts or 4 accounts, always close the previous account before starting the new account. Okay, or close all the accounts and start a new account. Let me write it here. Okay, account creation. If you have more than one account, close all the previous accounts before starting a new account. Okay, I'm also going to close my previous account, but I was just skeptical whether it will work or not. So I've kept it open, but always don't use the same email ID for opening or creating more than once. Okay, integrity issue. I'll tell you why there is an integrity issue. Okay, and don't give full address or any taxation number. Okay, I will also tell you why while signing up. Okay, signing up. Right. These are some of the hints that you have to remember. Right. No problem. You can close it even now. Right. So MFA. What is MFA? Multi-factor authentication. Right. No. Yes. Multi-factor authentication. So we have to set up a previously it was actually a kind of optional thing, but now MFA has become mandatory. Multi-factor authentication. Already we might be using this in our Google accounts. So the same thing is, asked here. So passkey is something which I'm comfortable, but since I want to use authenticator because that is easily available, so I'll just go ahead for using the authenticator. You could use anything. So I'll just say photos Cali 3 right now, and I will just say photos Cali 3, something like this. And for this, I'm using the authenticator app. So I already have the Google Authenticator. You could also use passkey, which is a new kind of setup for Google, but sometimes it's not working. So I'm comfortable with passkey, but for now I will try to use Authenticator since I'm training. I don't want any hiccups, so I'll just use Authenticator app. We don't have hardware, so we cannot ask for any hardware, so we are skipping it. If one of this you can choose. So he's going to ask for the QR code. So let me open my Google Authenticator from my app, from my mobile, and I'm just going to add this scan a QR code. Let me scan the QR code. Let me just see if he's scanning it. Yes, he has added that. Just a second. Let me rename this FK3. Photo 3. And then, okay. So I've added that. So he's asking for multi-factor authentication. 013882. The second code, I have to wait for some time to get the second one. 745431. Okay. 745431. Just see. You can set it in your Google Authenticator. So you have this in your app, Authenticator. Okay, so you can download the Google Authenticator, the one that has this logo. So you can install it in your app, and then you can just scan it. If it's not, you mean Joe, it's not asking you? If it's not asking you, leave it. Let's do it later. So yeah, not a problem. We will do it later. If it's asking, then we will take this. Let me just see. 258670. Okay, let me just do it one more time. 258670. And then 130244. Okay, there is some issue here. Let me cancel. Let me try for. Okay, this time, because of time constraints, I chose the passkey, but you could take the authenticator. Yes. Okay. Any authenticator app is okay. Basically, whichever is scanning, which app is scanning your code, that is going to be used permanently by you. And anytime you can delete and then recreate also. That's not an issue. Right. Somehow I got into the AWS. You can see here, it might be very small. You can see here my account name is here. The account name that I chose was Photoscali3. So it gave it here. And this is the initial screen. Now, in order to see whether everything is working, just because I came inside, let me log out and log in once more. Sign into the console. I'm just logging in after creating the account. My account is authorized, I guess, because it allows me to get inside. Let me try to log in by logging out. I'm just trying it one more time. Root account, Photoscali3. It's asking for authentication, multi-factor authentication. So, okay. Did he not allow me? Let me try one more time. I think there was an issue. Protected. Okay. There was an issue, I guess. Let me sort that issue later. For now, let me log into my traditional account, okay, which I have already. But just somebody confirm that you're able to get inside. I mean, you are inside now. You're able to see that screen. Is it okay for you? Anyone?
Yes, it's
I
fine.
didn't. I didn't do
Okay.
parallel Kalyan. Actually, once done, then with recording, I will to practice more.
Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. Okay. Let me just see. Okay, I think 5, 8, 6, 8, 7. Just yeah, okay, you're able to do fine. Now, one more way to go inside to check whether you are fully authenticated to use all the services of AWS. Just press EC2 here. Okay, in the search again. Once you get inside, you will have a search. The text field here, free text. So just press EC2 and just press the first one, EC2. Just press that and see whether it's taking you to the resources, this page. If it's not, if it's going to give you any error message, please tell me if you're able to see the screen in your screen also, or is it giving you any error? It's not an error, it's a message sometimes. Okay, let me redo it. Works fine, very good. So EC2, okay, then whatever comes here, EC2, I'm just pressing it. It has to show this screen, okay. The screen may be different for different regions. I'll come to that. but at least you should be able to see something like resources, instances thing, right? No, I think we are recording. We are recording it. Yes, we are recording it. Okay, so it should be this way. If it is not, okay, in case hiccups after logging in, okay, in case if we are not able to access any service, give EC2 in search and see if you are able to access the EC2 service, right? If not, wait for 1 day, right? So what happens sometimes is they take some time to authenticate. That is, I told you, debit and credit of that $1. Sometimes bank to bank, the timeline differs, because of which they might take 1 day or 3-4 hours to get into that complete this thing. In that case, then they may show you a message that it is not completely authenticated, right? No, if the card is not completely authenticated or the account is not fully activated. If that's the case, then you might have to go to support center. You see the support center here, the question mark. Okay, you can just go here again. You will be in the home page, right? Now you will be in this page. Of course, you may not be having recently visited, it will be blank, but you can see a question mark here, right? Now, yeah, you can do that, right? Right, you can do the MFA there also. I have done the MFA right now. I think Sanjay, you're telling for others, you can do that. But we are going to come to security credentials later. Let's not ask the people to do it now. If they have not done it, or if it is optional, let it be without MFA. Nothing serious. So we will do it later. So right now, support center. So I can go to the support center. Okay. This will work even if your account is not activated. Support center will always work. Okay. You can see there is create case. Okay, so click the question mark, right, for raising any ticket. Okay, so click the question mark to the right of the screen. Okay, then you can see there is something called create case, right? Support center and create case. Okay, so go to create case. So here you can see, you can do series of things. Okay, you can see account and billing. We are talking about account and billing now. So choose account and billing. Right. And rest you can write it by yourself. For example, you want to, account activation. You can see now, account activation, account verification, or you can put it as a general question. Better you put account verification or general question, and then you can say general question. Now you can just say additional information, right? Here he will give you, my account is not activated, right? You can just write, my account ID is, please make a note of your account ID. It will be there on the rightmost top, account ID. So this is a permanent ID, which will be given for the lifetime of this account. So you can just, you can copy it. Better copy it and paste it outside AWS, right? No? So you have it something like a text file, or wherever you store your passwords, somewhere you just have this account ID ready, right? No? So keep that and you put that account IDs, right? No? So you give that and then you say, my card, right? No? Verified, but full authentication. Anup, you don't have to enter PAN. You can just give no. Any type of taxation, you just give no. Okay, it is mandatory.
But Kalyan, not in the same page, but next page it is asking confirm your identity. There it is asking.
You skip that and then you come to the login page. Just you skip that one and then you say AWS Amazon login. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
something like this. Once you see that, please close that browser and then you say AWS Amazon login. Okay, that is additional information which need not be given. So just go here and then straight away login. Right now, you don't have to give that information. Right, so I'm here. So I'm just writing whatever I want to write, I will write it here, and then I will just solve now. When I click this button, either it will solve immediately because there are algorithms to see whether this problem can be solved immediately, or maybe it may not take one day. Even before one day, it will automatically be solved. AWS support doesn't call you, they don't send a mail. You will have to come and check your account later. Very rarely they do send you response, but not for this kind of activation things. They may not respond you, but that doesn't mean that it is pending. They might have worked on it. So next time when you come, it might be activated right now. So give this and then just relax. After 3-4 hours or maximum one day, you can just do this. The best part is, if for some reason your account is not working, you are not able to get to this question mark, you can give this number. That is why I said you just store this somewhere outside AWS. You store it in a text file. You give this to your colleagues. For example, Amiya can give it to Anup. Amiya can say that, Anup, can you do it for me? They will work on the case ID only. I mean, they will work on the account ID and not the person who is raising it. For example, for Anup, I can give Anup's account ID and raise a case. So they'll be working on this account ID. So anyone can raise a ticket for anyone, right? So that's why it's useful. Just keep this account ID. Point number one. So you might have to wait in case if it is not activated, not an issue. By tomorrow, it will be activated. Next, when you click this top right account ID, you can below account, of course, account name. Below that, you can find account ID. This is that's account, right? This is where you have to just get. Okay, I'm just giving you a dashboard experience of how AWS looks like. So just see the account. The account holds all the information that you have just now given. Okay, you see that all the details, whatever I have given, all these details are here. So whatever I given. Now you can close the account as per the current, the protocol. AWS is free only for 6 months. You would have seen that is free account only for 6 months. Okay. What is free tier? We will discuss. We have time to discuss. But remember, as of now, you are not paying anything to AWS. So it's for 6 months. Set a calendar, right, no, to remind you in the 5th month. This is very important. Close the account at the end of 5th month. Very important. Yes, Anup, I was talking about this. I'm getting a message. It might take up to 24 hours, right? Either you can wait, it will automatically be done within, let's say, 4-5 hours. Or as I said, it is exactly for this reason I told. So your credit card might not be authorized fully. So you can go to create case and then create your case. Okay. Yes, we will come one by one. So account, you need to have only for 5 months. You just see what is the end time. You will get an email. Once your account is created, you will get an email. So once you get an email, just make sure that you are closing the account at the end of 1 second. Yeah. Let me just show you this also. I got this email. Thank you for creating something like this. If you are unable to access, please note some services may take up to 24 hours to validate. Otherwise, AWS support. This is the create case I was talking about. No, so that's not an issue. Just you could wait for just 24 hours. Now, you have to close it. The reason being, if you don't close after 6 months, it is going to become paid service. Whatever you do is going to become paid service. So make sure that after the account is created, make a calendar notification and close the account. How do you close the account? You just can come here. Do you see close the account? So top right, close the account. You could just use that and a mail will be, confirmation will be sent to you. Remember this point. AWS, after closing the account, AWS deactivates your account, right? No more billing. Of course, if you have any residual amount to be paid, you will have to pay it, right? No, but it retains all your details. Okay. AWS keeps your account dormant. It doesn't delete it. Remember, deactivate is not delete. They won't allow you to access any service after you close your account. So you can be rest assured, after 6 months when you close your account, they will not charge you, because you won't be able to access any of their services. But they will only deactivate. They will keep your account dormant. You will never be able to open the account, but you will be able to pay them, right? No, so they need to know if there is any pending payment or something like that. They need to know. So they will keep the account dormant, which means all my personal details are there with them in the dormant state. So I don't want to risk giving too many information. That's why I said don't give you your door number, street number and all. You just give generic street name. Your zip code can be correct. Your state can be correct, right? No, but don't give the complete address. We don't want anyone to access that. Of course, AWS is secure, but when they want to keep it dormant, I don't want to risk myself, right? No, so that's the reason. Don't give complete information. And PAN, no, not at all. If they're asking for any SSN US, don't give that, right? Now, once you do that, there is something called billing and cost management, which you need to know, right? No, we will discuss about this later, because we are going to discuss in our the certification. It is there. We may not be discussing it from the point of view that we are doing it now. This is for our personal accountability, billing and cost management. Remember, all of these are there within this photo can. When I just click this billing and cost management, it brings me a complete information of what is due from me, right? No, of course, it is a free tier account, but there are some services which I am taking it deliberately for charge, right? No, sometimes credit card fails if your address does not match. That is also correct. Very rare, very rare. I don't know in US whether they check that way. Billing address equal to what they check, I don't know. But here it doesn't have any problem for me. But of course, we do not know. AWS is making all this very stringent. You'll be surprised that 2015-16 until 2016, they were allowing me to create an account without phone number. But now they have made the phone number compulsory. So slowly they are making things stringent, but they are making something also. They are accommodating more and more card types. For example, diner was not available. Now I think they have diner. And India UPI payment is allowed from last year or previous year. And then they are allowing the RuPay cards, that is India Visa card. They are allowing all that. So they are making relaxations at the same time. From authentication perspective, you are right. Maybe if they are asking for any such thing, yes. Oh, if that is the case, I'm sorry. In America, it might be that you need to have all this checked. If that is the case, you may have to give, because you wouldn't reach this place, no? He wouldn't allow you. So if that is the case, give your address correct. And anyway, they are going to find your address. It's not a big deal. For example, now I have given my phone number. It won't take much time for them to track down. But why to give it in the text format when everyone can see it? That is the reason. But yes, if possible, then you hide it. So this is the billing thing. So if you are making any billing by mistake, if you have accessed any service that is not free, some of the services are not free forever. I mean, even when you're opening for the first day, it is not free. Okay. We will see what is free, what is not free, but we can comfortably learn without even paying a single penny. So right now, assume that it will not be useful for you. I mean, it will not be useful for you in the sense you may not be having any cost, but time to time check your billing. Okay, weekly once. Check your billing just for our safety, right? So you'll have to come to the account and billing section, which is here. Right now, just come here and just see the parent page. The front page itself will tell, right? No, home it worked, but they may close. Okay, maybe right. No, in US it might be the case. Just check. Once you check whether you have to give the address. If so, then you have to give it. You have no other. At least I have some relaxation not to give complete address, but in your case you may have to. If that is the case, go ahead. Right. So this is the one. Just see month to date cost. Okay. They are also saying if this goes in this trend, how much it will be at the end of the month, forecasting, right? No extrapolation. So they do that so that you can be careful. If you need, then you can close anything that is running currently, right? No? So this is how we can just make sure. We will come back to this. We will again see payments can be made here. right? No, there is one section called payments, where last month I had something to pay. So they are just giving me how to pay and things like that. So all that you can, but generally billing is the first thing. So just have the dashboard, make sure that nothing is there, of course, here in the billing. So make sure that nothing is there. It is zero or whatever, just make sure, and then go for the next one, right? No? So this is how we have to check. So we have logged in. We know our account ID now. We know our account details and how to close the account. And we also know how to see the billing, correct? So any doubts until now? Okay, if that's the case, we'll just go ahead and understand the next part, which is nothing but the the shared responsibility model. See, the main part is AWS is providing you these services. AWS is providing you the virtual resources, right? No, but it doesn't mean that the accountability and responsibility is completely with them. We also hold responsibility, and that's what they call it as a shared responsibility model. Responsibility model. Now, what is a shared responsibility model? Now, AWS has clearly said what needs to be done. Okay, let me just give you this. Just give you this. Shared responsibility. You can see here. Let me just open this. So there is something that AWS gives you. At the same time, there is something that you also have to do. So there is something between us, that is customers, and AWS. Now, AWS says, I am providing you all the resources that you require to start your business. For example, I'm giving you the software, what is required. I'm giving you the hardware, right? No, I'm giving you, in what region, in what, all this we will see in a short while. I'll give you all the resources that you require, and I'll make sure these things are under my control. Anything that happens, for example, if compute is not done, for example, compute is a service. If the service fails, it is the responsibility of AWS. So they need to make sure that the service is up. So while signing up, they say that all the services that they are going to provide is 24/7. It's always available. Okay. There is no service that they say we get your payment and we don't give that. Something like a power outage never happens. They see to it that they have enough backups. They have resources to provide you. They don't say that it's not available or something. So it will always be there. This is their responsibility. But you have come inside their arena. You have got the service. Now you are going to make your application run within their virtual resources. Right now, you are going to take their virtual resource. Let's say, for example, it's called as an instance. Last week, I think I told you an instance is nothing but a laptop, a virtual laptop. You have taken their laptop. Now you are going to deploy your software inside that, correct? No? And you are going to put your customer data inside that. You are going to have identity and access management. That is, you have users who are logging in, their passwords. Where is the password stored? Right now, what are all the credentials? Who is able to access? Is there any loophole that some intruder can easily hack your system? Is your software robust enough, or is it having any failure? Data, is it protected properly? And then the operating system that you are using. The operating system may be given by AWS. For example, AWS gives you, let's say the Windows, but they're saying if there is any patch that is to be done on the operating system, time to time, they will send you a message, right? That a patch is available. You have to just update the patch. If you are not making that, it is your issue. If you have not updated your patch, because of which if some failure happens, it is not their responsibility. So if there is any network and firewall, that you have to make sure. There are AWS provides you with lots of services in network. We will talk about that when we are talking about the networking. But what to apply, what not to apply, who can access, who cannot access, what is deny, what is allow, all that you have to decide. If there is any failure in that, it is your responsibility, right? So anything with respect to the encryption, networking, data protection, your application, all is your responsibility. But the base, the platform is provided by them. Any platform which is actually being given by AWS is their responsibility. This is what is called as AWS shared responsibility. Delete your account if not used or no instances running more than one. No, they don't do that. They don't do that, Gaurav. They are just keeping it. You have to make sure that you are coming inside. As I told, you have to check. Sometimes what happens is some of the services are having some the running something like a daemon. For example, when you are running an application may have something called as snapshots. That database have snapshots. Without your knowledge, a snapshot might be running every day. Every snapshot, the running as well as the storage has a cost. So in case if you are not seeing, the cost might add up without your knowledge and you might be having a billing, right? No? So this is not their responsibility. You'll have to come and check. When you're saying that you're not accessing it, that is perfectly fine. They are not going to stop it until you want to stop it. Even if it's taking 5 years, after 5 years you come back and access it, they are not going to stop it. But it is better from our side that we see what is happening inside. As I told, if there is any daemon that is making your cost escalate, it is our responsibility to stop that. So better, as I told, check every week. But to answer your question, technically they are not going to stop if you're not using it. Right. So now all that customer responsibility and this that is called as shared responsibility. Now the
Kalyan,
next
that
thing is
shared responsibility model, that link, where shall I get?
okay. I have already posted that in our in the help sheet.
Okay.
Let me
Okay.
share the help sheet. So whatever link I'm doing, either it will be there as a presentation or it will be there in the help sheet itself. Sorry.
Okay.
Right now. So either it will be there in the slides here or it will be there as part of our help sheet. I will constantly put that. If I'm not putting, just remind me, I'll put that. Right now.
Okay.
Right. Most of these are coming from AWS website. Documentation is very good. So we'll take that. We'll talk about hypervisors. Anyone knows what is hypervisor? Hypervisor? Yeah. Further?
Virtual machine.
Virtual machine. So it's something like this. AWS provides you with the hardware. Right now. Hardware. So which is nothing but servers. Right now. Routers, switches, storages, etc. Right? All these are provided by AWS. As a user, I may not directly access this, correct? Because I do not know where is it. So it's not my on-premise. We call it as on-premise. Right? On-prem or on-premise. On-premise. Right? So if it is my on-premise, I know where my hardware is, but here I do not have that. So what I do, I go for the cloud service provider, right now, called as AWS. Right now, AWS. Now it is AWS who is actually having this hardware, but only that he says that you don't have to go there, you just contact me. I'm providing you with services, right now. For example, I'm going to give you an instance. Instance, as I told you, is nothing but a virtual laptop. So when you are actually accessing this, how will you access? You're going to click some buttons, right? And give minimal information. These informations are translated in a way that hardware can understand, correct? So there is a daemon or there is an engine which is constantly running 24/7 in the shared responsibility model. This is AWS responsibility, this one. If it's not running, it's not your problem, it's AWS issue. So AWS is running this, and this AWS daemon is called as hypervisor. So the role of hypervisor is to take all your inputs that you are giving in the click of a command, take that, translate that in the way that hardware can understand, and get the response. So when you're saying I'm going to get an instance from AWS, actually there is one place somewhere, right now, in some part of the server, there is one place which is allocated for you, for which they are giving the IP address also, right now. So you are actually accessing this, but you are virtually accessing this part physically. All you know is an IP address and the fact that you have got a server, right? No, IP address and a server. So this kind of translation of what you require into what is actually needed is being done by hypervisor. These days, AWS uses something called as a Zen hypervisor. Just remember, in case if it is being asked in interview, so you can just say Zen hypervisor. We don't have to worry much about this because it is completely AWS responsibility. So they take care of it. But hypervisor is the one which is actually making your job much easier. Right. Now, after this, we need to know how this entire, the cloud formation is happening, right? And that's when we are going to do something called as IaaS, right? IaaS, SaaS. Let me get to the, one second, let me get to the presentation for that. Just give me a moment. So you can see separation of responsibilities. For this, I think I have a better this thing. Let me just take you there. Okay, let me just take you here. You can see here that when you're at on-premise, let's say you have not started using AWS, you don't know what is AWS. You are very comfortable using your on-premise. Now, whenever I say on-premise, you have your server. Down in your basement, you have your server, right? So that kind of a setup is called on-premise. You have the full control of your hardware. So what are all the different things? Right from nitty-gritties of networking, storage, servers, virtualize, everything is under your control. Whatever is orange is in your control. In on-premise, always everything is under your control. Now, slowly AWS comes into your business. They say, that we will provide all the hardware for you, hardware related things for you, right? You manage your software because all your customer data, application, all sensitive information, you keep it with you. But this is something which is not your core competence, correct? No? For a company, retail company, what is it that they are going to do with the knowledge of virtualization, servers, and storage? It is not their core competence. Whereas they need to know the data, they need to know their application. But this is something which they can offshore or they can just offboard it. Okay, they can just give it to someone. So in infrastructure as a service, okay, infrastructure as a service, as a service. He says, AWS says that I will manage the entire infrastructure. This is something which is easy for me, which I have been doing. And this is a headache for you also. One, this is not your core competence. Second, what if the servers have to be patched? If there is a new version of your operating system coming in, okay, in this case, at least it is your headache. But if there are new versions of the servers that are coming in, all these patches, how will you manage a network glitch? So he says, I will do it for you, right? No, for a small price. So this is infrastructure as a service. Slowly he gains a command. So he says that apart from infrastructure, only application and data are something which is sensitive for you. You keep it. All the other things, including the operating system, I will manage. Platform as a service. Slowly he plunges into your business. No, platform as a service. As a service. So he says, apart from the hardware, I'll manage the middleware also. These are all middleware. Okay, so operating system I'll manage. Why? Because operating system requires patches. And you can't remember all the operating system patches when they have to do, or you have to have a separate staff for that. So instead he says, I will manage all of this. I will automatically update the patch whenever it is coming in, but complete control is with me. Right? No? This is the second thing. Slowly he gets into SaaS, which is software as a service. Right? No? Software as a service. Oops. Sorry. Software as a service. Right? No? So here he says, especially Azure, he says when you are giving the complete application in my control, then I'm going to give you, for example, Office 365 is provided for free for some services, right? Office 365 is provided for free in SaaS. So he says, I will provide you the software also, right now as a service. There are some softwares which are available, which I will give it to you. I've already worked on it. I'll give it to you. So this you can use and then you can make the customizations in order, which means you don't have to do anything. You just have to log in and then you have to use all the services, pay whatever you are using. the question that you asked. So if you're not using it, you're not paying it, right? He's not going to delete, but you're not paying it. It is going to remain there. Even after 5, 6 years, you will not pay anything if you're not running the business, right? Now your code will be there. So that is SaaS, completely is taking over that. So these are the different ways in which actually is taking control of your business. Now, when you're having all this, you see from on-premise, I am slowly going into software as a service. Any business who is actually having no knowledge about the the AWS or cloud service provider, when he moves, when he slowly loses control, I may not be using the word loses control because he is actually giving it with his knowledge, but let's assume that he is losing control because he feels all this will be managed by the cloud service provider well. But what is the first question that he will have? The first question, right? Any business will have is, what about security? Right? I was feeling ultimately secure when everything was in my control. If something is out of control, it is I am accountable. I know something is failing. Right? But here, if something has failed, then I'm not in my control. So, what is the security? When I talk about security, it's about the fencing. When you build an independent house, the first thing you want to build is the fence. Correct? No? Who are the intruders? Right? No? Even in the office, when your facility management in your office premise is finding a new building, right? No, for moving your office, they will first ensure how many entrances to this building, right? How many entrances? Because they have to put the security there, or they have to close there, they have to have a CCTV camera there, whatever it is, they have to make all that. Then the other important question is, who will all be allowed and who will be not allowed? Right? Which means what? Unauthorized access. Access. Right? They are worried about this. It should not be there. I should have a complete control of who is accessing my application or who is entering my building. So that means I need to have a complete control on the security. This is the keyword is access, right? Access. And that's why we have our first service called as identity access management. Because AWS knows very well that the first thing that you will be worrying about is not about your application, but your security. There are different levels of security. Network was also a security. Data is also a security. But we'll talk about access security first. When it comes to storage, we'll talk about storage security. But right now it is access security. Who are all allowed to access, who are not allowed to access. That is what is called as IAM. This is not something that is invented by AWS. I think in 2007, right now, I was working 2007. I was working for Oracle IDAM. They created it long back. So they call it as IDAM, which is again identity access management. And there were other, the softwares also at that point of time also. Right, they were had you already know RSA. Somebody would have used that. That what is that? They call it as Fab key. I forgot the name. Fab key or something they used to call. Have you see this RSA token? Fab key, I think. This one, anyone remembers? Anyone remembers to use this?
Yeah, I used it. Yes.
Slowly it is going out of business now, but this is something they call it as Fab key, I think. So this they use in order to have access control. Right? Now, this all we have used. So all that now, how AWS is going to implement right now. Now AWS implements this. Yeah, true. It's all historical, correct? It used to be reality. I used this. I used to have that, and it was very painful, no, because it's very small. It's capable of getting lost, but that's all history, as you said.
No, but we have to carry with our iCard. The same
True,
identity
true.
card.
Yes, yes. There is some, co-authentication. So they will ask one question and then RSA. So you'll have to give that. Mostly, I think, yes, you're right. So some ID, they will need it. So now that's all gone. Now we are talking about identity access management, which is IAM, which is for your information. It's here. Just give IAM. Okay. Whatever you want, you just give IAM or EC2, whatever you want, you give here. It will pop out all the services here. And if you want to take a favorite of this, okay, if you want to just make it, there is a star to the right of it, right? So I'll just click the star so that it becomes a favorite and stays here, right? For example, IAM is here, right? So next time I don't have to search, I'll just go and click this. So it will be available until you just click out that favorite star. So I have the IAM here. Let me just click the IAM. So it takes me to the first service that we are going to implement called as Identity Access Management. Right? Now this Identity Access Management, as I told, is for security, the first level of security, or let me call it a preliminary security. Right? IAM is a preliminary security, which means there are multiple levels of security that AWS provides. The first thing is IAM, right? IAM is built on 3 A's. What are those 3 A's? Authentication, authorization, and account. What is the difference between authentication and authorization? Anyone? What is
You can
authentication?
authentication mainly when you are login for check, that is the authentication.
When you
And
are logging?
if suppose I'm using the Gmail,
Okay.
and the user ID and password
You
is
mean login password, right? No?
yeah,
So
that is the
in short, I can
authentication.
say who you are. Correct? No? Authentication checks for who you are, right? No?
Yes,
Whether you
and
are the right person
authorizations
to
means
access.
the after the successfully login, what type of services we have to
Correct.
access.
What you can do, right? No? What you can or cannot, right? No? Do, right? No? Or I can say it's a privilege. Your privilege. Privilege. For example, if I had to equate it to real-time scenario, you are an employee and you can access your building using your ID card. The security at the entrance checks your ID card, which means you're authenticated to get inside the building. But with your card, you cannot access the server room. You cannot access the network room. You cannot access CEO's personal room, something like that. Just think. So, or in many cases in service companies, you can access only your ODC, offshore development center. You are not allowed to access another client's of offshore development center. So that means access gives you first identity, which is authentication, and also privilege, which is authorization. The third is accounting. Let's say you have authenticated and you have been authorized also. All your activities should be logged. Right? What you do inside the premises, inside the application, inside the account should be logged so that people can see and know that you have done the right thing or you have not done the right thing. For example, you're authorized to delete, you're a database architect and you're authorized to delete a customer data. That doesn't mean that you can go and delete the data, right? So they might need to have some accounting. So that's why it is there. Now, authorization and authentication is what we are going to concentrate. Authentication and authorization is done by the service IA, right? There is another service which does the accounting, right? Which is called as audit trail. We'll take it later. Right now, we will take the IA, this one. So that is the AAA system, right? Now, once you
Okay.
are here, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, if someone asked to me describe the
Mhm.
IAM, then we can say like that there is a 3A, and we can describe like
Correct,
you have
correct.
described, right?
Just, or you can say it is a system which has the access control to authenticate on authorize who is accessing the system. That's it, right? But you can say
Okay,
3 A's
thank you.
also. In fact, 3A is a generic thing. As I said, accounting is not done by the IAM. It is done by a different service. But in general, you can say, yes, it is taking care of AAA's, right? Now,
Okay,
IAM
okay, thank you.
is always deny all. Okay. And it is also called as principle of least privileges. Okay. What is principle of least privileges or deny all? Okay. Which means initially it suspects you and it rejects you. Always it is rejecting you. For example, right now, deny all. Example is your office premises. The security at the entrance always suspects you. He doesn't allow you until your ID card allows you to go inside. So it's actually a deny all. So your denial becomes an exception only when you have an authenticated ID card. Otherwise, it's a denial. Opposite is allow all. For example, church, right? No? Bus station, railway station, etc. Right? No? Any public place, it's all allow all. So they don't deny you. They just anyone can come and go, right? No. So any public place is allow all. Remember, IAM is a denial, which means it actually wants to deny you unless and until you have the proper authentication and authorization to do the stuff, right? No? And that is also called as a preventive security control. All these words we will elaborate and discuss how it is, but just remember preventive security control. Right. Having said all of that, we will come back to IAM and understand IAM. We were not here, no? We use this. Do you remember that we started as a root account? When I actually came out, okay, and when I wanted to log in, there were two logins. I mean, two types of logins it was asking, and it was giving me a root user. Correct me? The root user is the one who actually you have used to create your account. Root user is having universal privilege to do anything. Okay. Delete the entire account also. Is it not true? As a root user, I can just go inside, right now. Just now I told you, I can go inside. 1 second, just give me 1 second. Let me just go 119076. I can go inside and I can delete the account. Right now. Account, close the account. So anything that is being done here, close the account. Anything that is being done here can be sabotaged by the root account. That's because that is the person who has actually created this account. It's like a building, constructor, the constructor or the builder who has built your apartment. Until the apartment is complete, he will have the key, right? So you cannot say he cannot have the key. Otherwise, how will he construct the building? So he will be having the access key. He will be coming and going whenever he wants. But doesn't mean that you need to allow him to have the key even after you have got into the house. Is it not dangerous? What if he misplaces the key and it gets into the hands of someone else? Which means a root user is like a person who is not supposed to have the key for accessing your account, but he needs to have, right now, because he is the one who has created this account. So that means root account should not be misused. Should not be misused by users, or rather better to delete the account as soon as we know about IAM user creation. The moment we get to know about the IAM user creation and we start to create the IAM user, better delete that account. Okay. Now, do you see that when I log out, I have one more user called as IAM user? So far, I have not created any user called as IAM user. That's why I'm not able to take this right now. But we are going to do this now. The next thing that we are going to do is create an IAM user. Until then, we will go as a root user right now. So let's take this. So IAM user is very important for you to have a complete control on your account. When I talk about account, that account ID, right now, this entire thing is very important. So what we will do, we will first try to create a user and let this user have all the powers, right now. It's like the home owner having the key. The difference between the root user and IAM user having the power is you are giving the power to the builder by giving the key to him. He is not the owner. But if the owner has all the power, if the owner decides to destroy the house, who can stop him? Correct? No? As owner, I can make that. And that's the reason why I need to have the IAM user created. Right? No? So now it's also better to have admins. If in case, for example, you can see, I have created this account 1 year before. I'm still having this root account. That's because it's my account. I'm not using it for any official purpose. So I'm having it. But if you are using it officially, or if it is safe for you, you feel, then you can delete the root account, right? No? So otherwise, if you feel so, then only admins need to have root credentials. Don't give it to anyone. Okay. For example, if you have not created any IAM user, then if your friend asks or if someone asks, don't give the root account. Always create the IAM user and then only give it, right? No? Now, what are all the different things that we would require as a user, right? No? We'll talk about the user. IAM. First thing I would require to access, whenever I talk about access, is about the user, or let me call it IAM user. Right? No? IAM user. Now this IAM user is the one who is going to log into this account. Right? No? Remember, there is a difference between end user and IAM user. Now, what is the difference between end user? Now, this is your instance. Right? No? This is your instance. As I told you, instance is like your laptop. You have created your virtual laptop. Let's say you are going to create an application called as bank.com. My lab rat is icicibank.com. So I'm creating an application called as icicibank.com. Now I want all the end users, or let me call them consumers, right? Consumers are going to access my icicibank.com application. Do they know that it is present in this instance? What do you think? Do you think a customer? No, correct. No. If I'm accessing the icicibank.com as an application, I do not know where it is running. Is it running in cloud or is it running in on-premise? It is running in Azure or in AWS. I don't have any idea. I'm just accessing an application, right? No? I am an end user. So consumers are going to be end users who are going to access this application. We are not talking about these people. These are not the users. The user could be a developer. A user could be a project manager of the application. The user could be an architect. The user could be a tester. These are the people who are actually working in the application, who try to access the instance. The instance is present where? The instance is present in the cloud. Correct? No? The instance is present in the cloud. So I'm talking about the instance. Right? So this instance is being accessed by IAM user. Now, this IAM user, as I told you, could be a developer, he could be a tester, he could be a project manager, or let's say he's a database architect. Right? How do they differ? They differ by their privilege. Correct? All have authentications. All these people have authentication, login password. That's not an issue. The issue is what kind of privilege the developer has. Let's say developer has access to database. He can read, okay, he can write, but he cannot delete. Okay, delete. He cannot delete. This is one type of setup which the developer has. Now, tester in the same database, he can read, right? No, but he cannot write. Right? He cannot write He cannot delete. Let's say the PM does not have access to anything. He has nothing to do with the project manager, has nothing to do with the database, so he has access for nothing, right? Whereas the DB has everything. He has the right to access the database, right to the database, delete the database. That means they are different by privileges, right? Users are different by privileges, or I can call them as policies or permissions. We are going to talk about that. But before going to policies or permissions, first you need to understand who is a user. A user in this context is the person who is going to access the AWS application, who is going to log into the AWS application, who is going to work on ICICIbank.com, C++, C, or whatever it is. He is going to work on that coding or testing, whatever, right now. Now he has different privileges based on the kind of user he is, developer or tester or whatever it is, right now. Now, tell me one thing. There are three developers. Okay, developer one, developer two, and developer three. Now, developer one has to be given read, write. Developer two has to be given read, write. Developer three also has to be given read, write. If there are 100 developers, let's assume there are 25 developers, which is very normal for a big project, 25 developers. Now somebody has to give this read and write authorization every time when the developer, a new developer comes, right? Now, is this right way to give individual access to individual developers? The same kind of, because when you take a developer, he needs to have read and write. Is it the right way to give individual authentications, authorization? Authentication is okay. Authorization, privilege. Better than that, you form a group. Right? So you form a group. Let this group be called as developers group. You form several different groups, testers group. You form a DBA group. Right? A group is the one which is going to hold all the privileges that are required. Right? In this case, let's say developers group has read and write as the privilege. Now, instead of logging to each and every developer and giving him the access, I'll just take it out. And then I will attach all these developers to a group called as developers group. This makes sense, no? Right? No? Developers. Now, what is the advantage? When you have individual access, read and write, what if this developer is not in development team anymore and is going to join the testers team? He will go along with this privilege. Correct? No, because it's an individual privilege that has been given to him. He will go along with that privilege. Now, testers do not have delete access, read and delete access, right? No, let's say delete access. Okay, and write access also they don't have. Okay, testers do not have write access also, but he goes with read and write access. Now, who is there to control? People will be moving here and there. Developer will become a tester, tester will become an architect. So people will keep moving. If you attach individual privileges or permissions to the user, it is very difficult to control. But on the other hand, if the developer joins the testing team, you will detach this link and you will attach it with the testing team. Automatically, the privileges which are there read only. Okay. So he will lose all the privileges that the developer group had. He will go to the testers group. He will have only read only. Correct? No, that means it's always better to form a group before you make the user. So let's start today with forming the group. Group has privileges in the form of policies, you're right, and permissions that can be given to the team of people who do the same job, type of job. For example, developers, right? Read and write access, something like this. So we can give that. So what we will do is we will now create a group called as developers. You can see first it starts with groups. So I again going back, I went to IAM. So I came to this identity access management. First thing, I'm just clicking the user group. Before going to the user group, right now, do you see that there is something called global? Okay. So services in AWS are either global or regional. Service or global or regional. For example, when I take the Gmail, right now, Gmail, some of them are regional. For example, they can just give offers. Gmail can give offers. For example, during this period, they said G Drive is available for 90% discount. And when they said Gmail is available, I mean, G Drive is available for storage is available for 90% discount, 100 GB for 3 months at a discounted rate, they are going to put me with rupees, Indian rupees, not dollars. Correct? No? So they have localized something. At the same time, what do you think about the Gmail name account creation process? What do you think? Is it global or local?
It is global.
Yes. If you create a name called as test user, it doesn't matter whether you are creating it in Japan or we are creating it in US or you are creating it in Croatia. Wherever you are creating, it is allowed only once. Correct? No? Account creation process in Gmail is global. He doesn't allow you to duplicate the names. At the same time, there are some things which are local also, which is localized also. In the same way, some services in AWS are global. To maintain the uniqueness of the name as well as the users, he has named this entire identity access management as a global thing. So that means there are some aspects which you cannot, for example, name. This name cannot be repeated anywhere in the world, photo scanning. Right? So the email ID cannot be repeated. So all this are taken account in the global, which is going to be our identity access management. So
Kalyan, some
IAM.
disruption.
Okay, you want me to repeat? You want me to
Yes.
repeat? Okay.
Yeah.
So I was telling that
Previously, it was
identity.
okay. Yeah. Now
Sorry.
little bit. Previously,
Okay.
your speaking was proper. Now little bit
Okay.
disruption.
Okay. I was just mentioning that IAM is a global entity. It's a global service because IAM, I mean, maintains all your account ID and who is coming into your account and your username. Everything is maintained global, which means it can only be unique. It cannot have duplicated names. And that's why IAM is always global. The opposite of global is regional. Okay. Others are mostly regional. We'll talk about regional later, a bit later, but we will talk about global. That means anyone and everyone will be seeing the same thing. They will not have any localized approach. They will all be seeing the same kind of setup. One. Second thing, IAM as a service is totally free of cost all the time. You remember I told you that your account is free only for 6 months. But this service, you can create as many users as you want. You can create as many groups as you want. Of course, there are some limitations. 5,000 users is maximum. So max 5,000 users. Max 5,000 users can be created. But up to this 5,000, if you are just going hitting the brim, if you are hitting the ceiling of 5,000, it's completely free. They are not going to charge you anything right now. So that is one good thing that IAM has to offer. So with that note, let's try to go to the groups. Okay, I'm going to the group. As of now, I don't have, today morning, I deleted all the groups because it would cause confusion. So I have deleted all the groups. Now I'm just going to create a group. Okay, I'm creating my first group. As I told you, until now, root user did everything. Correct? No? Root user is everything. All in all admin. Right? No? Full power. He had the full power. But now I'm going to discard him. As I told you, this is not good. Joe, am I audible now? Is it okay now?
Yes,
Ajay
Kalyan.
Ji? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, time to time, I think it's because of intermittent internet connectivity issues, but I think it should be okay. So I'm just going to replicate whatever root user had. He had admin privileges, right? No? I'm going to take the same admin privilege, but this time I'm going to be calling myself as IAM user. He is also going to have the same all-in-all admin privileges. But the difference is he's an IAM user. As I told you, the difference between the building constructor and the homeowner. Homeowner can have the key, but after construction, building owner should not have the key, right now. So what we will do is we'll create somebody called as IAM user. I don't know whether we can use upper lower cases that you can see IAM user admin. Okay, I'm just giving or IAM admin. Now I'm going to create an IAM admin. See here, if I come down, it's asking whether you want to add any users to the group. Remember, I told you that a group can have multiple users, but we will create the users later. We will concentrate on creating the group and the privileges. Okay, these are called as policies. Okay. What we are going to create right now is called as policies. So we will only concentrate on creating a group and policies, nothing else. So we will just skip this question. We'll come to that later. But now, do you see that there is something called as policy? What is a policy? Okay. Policy. A policy is a group of permissions. Right? You have something called as life insurance policy. Right? No? Or you call it as leave policy in your company, or you call it as reimbursement policy in your company. What are they? They are nothing but set of rules. Correct? No? If you actually see life insurance policy or leave policy, it's just a statement. The statement has some words, but the words alone don't make up rules. If you just go below the words, there are a lot of items which they say who can get insured, what is the minimum eligibility, what is the sum assured, how long can you take a leave, how many casual leaves, right? No, what is the maximum amount that you can reimburse, who can reimburse, all these are rules. So that is what is called as permissions. Okay, so policies have permissions. Policies have set of permissions. So if you go from the bottom to top, permission is the granular entity. Set of permissions make a policy. The policy is assigned to the group. Right now, that is how it is designed. So we are coming reverse now. We have formed a group. We are going to the policy, and the policy has set of permissions. What did I tell you? I told you that we are going to replicate the entire root user, all the privileges that he had. I'm going to give it to the IAM user. So that's why I'm going to give him a policy called as administrator access. Okay. You can see here, policies are of different ways. One is called as AWS managed policy. Right? No? Policies are one AWS managed policies. Second is customer managed policies. We'll first take the AWS managed policies. Why? Because they have already thought about that. They have already thought what should be there, what people need, everything they have thought about that. So they have thought that whenever somebody creates the first group in the IAM, they would require a complete administrator privilege. So we are going to take an AWS managed, which means AWS has already thought what an admin would require. He has put all the permissions globally available, universally available, and he has formed a policy package called as administrator access. Now this is a policy. Do you see that there are so many policies? In fact, if you just come down, there are here, see, 55 it says. So there are multiple policies. Okay. For each and every activity, there are policies. Apart from that, we can create our own policy also, which we will do later. First, we will just get accustomed to the system. We are giving the administrator access. Now, what does the administrator access has got? If you want to see that, we will just click the administrator access. We will just do the group creation later. First, we will understand how a policy looks like. When I actually click the administrator access, do you see that it says under policy administrator access? Now there is something called as ARN. You can think of ARN as your social security number. ARN, right? Amazon resource, Amazon resource name. Each and every entity in Amazon AWS has got a separate name. So with this, you can identify what you're talking about. In fact, AWS identifies each and every resource only by this ARN. We'll talk about the ARN later, but just now understand anything that is to be named, any entity that is to be named by the system, it is the ARN. Okay, system names like this. Okay. Now, when I come down, it's all about a policy called as administrator access. The policy has multiple services. Remember, these are all rules. Okay. Now, if I just go down, let me just take ECT. Okay. The administrator has got EC. We'll talk about ECT also later. Am I cutting off? Is it okay now? Am I okay now, Joe? Is my voice clear? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So EC2 is one access. Okay, is it one? It is one service which we are going to discuss on the third week. Today is day 2. We'll discuss it on day 3 or day 4, or possibly tomorrow, if not day of next week. So EC2 is one. This is going to be your virtual laptop, creation of your laptop. Here, this is one of the service. Likewise, I have another called how to access storage. So I have a storage. So just like we have hard disk, AWS gives you storage. How to access the storage? You can see whatever you want, it's all available in full access. And for all the resources, which means this can be used for all the resources. This is anything and everything for everybody. That's what it means, full access. So that's what we mean by administrator, which gives you all services, all set of roles, full access. This is equivalent to your root user. So my first objective is to create a full-time admin who is under the control of IAM. So that's why I've chosen this. You can see that this is a summary which you can easily understand. The entities are clearly listed out in a tabular format. But once you become comfortable, or when you say, I know JSON, you can just click the JSON also to the right of it, where you can have a coding control also. You see that this is the same, what he had to do with so many services listed. In coding, he simply said, allow all actions, read, write, right now, delete anything on all resources, EC2, right now, AWS organizations, and IAM, anything and everything, all resources. Just allow everything for everybody. That's what it means. You could just use this in order to expand. For example, I can simply also say deny. Of course, in this case, I cannot do because this is an AWS managed, but I can always create my own policy wherein I can deny all the service for a particular user. I can do that right now. So this is the advantage that we have. We can also write JSON, but let's go first. Let's understand using what is available easily. So let's take this, define the policy, all the permissions. Now, when I have that, I'm just going to go back right now and take this permission, right now, administrator access, then create a user group. So here I just say I am admin. So I can see that he has been given the administrator access. It is an AWS managed thing. So create the user group. User group has been created. That means a group with this power, right now, has been created. Admin power, group, admin power. But group is not user. You have just given set of privileges or policies to the group, which requires at least one user, right now. And that's when, first let's see the user group. I'm just clicking the user group again. You can see that user group has created an IAM admin. When you go inside, it just gives you the one that we have created actually, or whatever policies we have created, everything is given here, right now. View the group, right now. Let's just see permissions, right now. It's loading the policies, it says everything. Now let's create a user. Now that I have created the group, let me create a user. For user creation, I just go here, create a user. So now I will say admin user. Okay. Now all this I will not click. I'll just leave all the default. The one good thing about AWS is if you leave something by default, it will work fine. He has arranged in such a way that when you have little knowledge, you can just click, go ahead and click next, next, next. It will create the default thing for you. And mostly it will be for no charge right now. So if you want to customize, yes, there are multiple options. For now, let's create a user. Do you see that when I create the user, he says, do you want to add the user to the group? Right now, you can even attach policies directly. Right now, they are called as inline policy. I have already created a group, correct now, called as admin. So my intention is I want to create an admin user right now, whom I would want to attach it to the group admin. Right now, I want to attach it. But if you want, you need not create this. You can separately create the user also and directly attach admin access. That was the policy name. No? You can directly also attach, but this is dangerous. Why? What if this admin user becomes a developer tomorrow? A developer is personally attached to admin access, which is very dangerous, right? So whenever he changes to a developer, had he been linked to the group admin, you can just delink this one so that he will not have any other policy. That's why we don't create this part. We don't create this part. We add the user to the group. There is already one group existing. So I'm clicking that and I'm just creating it. Right. We'll talk about tags and other things later. For now, tags are going to appear again. So don't worry about that. So now I have created the user. Admin user is created. When I view the user, do you see that there is an ARN? Every entity has got an ARN. It's a unique value which will determine who you are, where you are located. For example, you see ARN says, I am in AWS, I am under IAM, and my account ID. Do you see this? 61526152. And I am under user. Under IAM, I am a user and I am called as admin user. So very clear. All this genus and species are very clear that you can easily identify who you are, where you are. Right? Now I have got the administrator access. Now with this administrator access, now I have become the root user. So let's just see whether I can make right now security credentials. I can make any security credentials. Do you see that I have right now multi-factor authentication? This user can have multi-factor authentication. You remember I told you that you can create your multi-factor authentication even after you log in. So this way the admin user can create his multi-factor authentication. If you want the root user to have the multi-factor authentication, go to Photos Cali. Do you see the same security credentials here? So for this account ID or account name, you can go to the security credentials. You can click there and then you can find the multi-factor authentication here, right? You can also do that. So that's why I told somebody was not having, right? So I just told if you have logged in, then you can use at this place also, you can start creating. It will be the same screen, right? Now you can just come back and do that. You can have more than one multi-factor authentication also, right? Now, so now we have created this. What we shall do is we shall try to log in, okay, as an admin. But before that, just let me see if we need to have the console login. 1 second, let me just see. Right now, create access key. Command line, we don't need this right now. So we will have console access. Let's just log out. I have logged in as PhotoCal, which is the root access, correct? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to access as admin user, correct? I'm going to access as admin user. Let me log out. Instead of root user, I'll go as admin user. Okay. So let me just do admin user. Okay. So, okay, I have to give my account ID. Just a second. I'll take my admin user. Okay, 1 second. 662, click this. Copy this and put it over here. Then let me log out. Right. And then let's log in now. No, all the IAM users are global. I'll tell you, no, when you see the difference of what is regional, you will understand. Admin user. Wait, let me see whether he allows. Yeah, I think we have not put the password. Let's put the password. Let's create one more and then we will come back again. Just give me a second. Admin console, we have console password we have not given. So let's just do that and then come back. Just a second. 30589.
Hey, Kalyan.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
So this new user that you created, is it only meant for me as a root user and it's not meant for like another person itself, right?
See, when you create the root user, I mean, when the root user logs in, he wants to hand over to an admin. Admin is always only one, right? No, the admin in turn has to create multiple groups now. We have created the first group called as admin. Now, admin will start to create multiple groups like developer and tester, and he will create multiple users. So as a admin, you will be only one. You will not give this login to any of your users. But if you have users, you have to create the user login password for them. So to answer your question, it's going to be only for yourself.
Okay, so if my friend has to get an account, he has to go through the
Yeah,
whole
that's
process.
what we are going to do. We'll try to do that now. Admin one. Let me just do it. You see that? Provide user access to the management. So I'll just put that. I want to create right now. We will do this right now. So I'll put a custom password. So here I'm actually making a password now. The user also is created right now. This is not required because I'm not auto generating. I'm creating a custom password right now. To enter into the same AWS login, I'm creating my own password and then I'm just adding it to the group right now. Next, this is called as admin user. What is the name that I give? Let me just see. Okay, no problem. Okay, now I have created a user called as admin1 right now. So let me log out. We've been signed out. Login. Sorry. Take this account. I am user. Giving this account ID. One. See the right side. Do you see that the user name has changed now? Right now, this is admin one. He is not the root user anymore. Now he is, and of course, for all of them, account is the same, but he has now become the admin user, IAM user. Now you go to IAM, right? And see what are all the privileges. Now you are not seeing from the angle of root user, but you are seeing it from the angle of the IAM user. The IAM user is seeing that his own privilege is there, right? Now can he access EC2? Let's see. I'll take 3 more minutes to show you the negative, and there was a question for regional, so I will answer that question also, and we will close today. Do you see that I'm able to access, right? Anything. Let me go to S3. Same as root user, the IAM admin user is able to do anything and everything, right? Now let's do just the opposite. We will have restricted access to the user. So I'm going back to IAM. Remember that I have logged in as admin user, and see here admin is global. IAM is always global. Now I'm going to access a group right now called as dev group, or let's say test group. Create a group right now, test group. Right now I'm going to create a group. Let's create a user. Just a second. No, we need to have. 1 second. Sorry, 1 second. Let me just create a group again. Test group right now. Now attach the permissions. Let us just load it, or let me give EC2 right now. Read something like that. I know it takes much time. Just give me a minute. Okay, I've just given EC2 read, or just give EC2. That is also okay. Test user. It's very slow, no? Anyone got this? Okay, for now, just for the time being, let me create a user. Wait, test user. I will create a password. Required. Next. Okay. I could attach it to the group, but currently I don't have a group for the tester. So for now, only for today, I will attach the policy directly. Right now, let me just attach the policy directly. And I guess it should pop out the policies. Anyone has got this? Yeah, okay. Now you see, I'm attaching read. Do you see that read only access? This is not administrator. This user called as test user is going to have only read-only access, nothing else. And that too only on EC2, not on any other services. So now I'm going to create this. Okay. So I'll just create the user. Right. This user has a username and password. This has a different set of privileges right now. So let me just, no, I know this. Let's just take it right. Okay. Now I will log out. Okay, we have created the second user. Remember, the second user was also having the global service. IAM is always global, irrespective of whether you are going to create for the admin or for the user. Let me just log in now. This time, logging in myself as an IAM user, but not admin. But this time I'm going to log in as test user. Test user. Okay. I'm just giving my password. This password just now I gave. While creating the user, I gave the password, right now. So once I've given the password, I'm logging in as test user. You can see here on the right side, right now. So IAM user is test user. Now you can see there are already some deny coming in. right now. Let's now go to EC2 user, EC2. Okay, I'm just going into EC2. Now I'll try to create an instance. Okay. Do you see there are a lot of denies, right now? As a test user, I don't have all the privilege. Let me try to launch an instance. Okay. Now let me give something like this, test. All this we will, I'll, when the EC2 comes, I will just teach you on this. But just see, just I'm creating an user. Okay, I don't have it. Let me take, I'll tell about the regions, but let me just launch an instance now. Test Ubuntu. I just will give T2 micro is okay, instance type okay. Here I'll just pick something. All this we will come later, okay? So don't worry. You are not authorized to perform this operation, right? No, test user is not authorized to perform. Security group. All these are denied. There are multiple policies which are denied because this particular user has got only the read-only access for EC2. Let me try S3. If I go to S3, there is no mention about S3 at all. When I try to create a bucket with this user, right now, so test bucket or something, right now, something like this, and then create a bucket, right now, permission required. So nothing, I cannot access any of the services because the user does not have the permission to do anything. Let us see whether he has got a permission to change something on the group itself. Do you see this? He has nothing right now. So now when I actually try to go to the group, he is not even able to see who is the admin. Right now, he is not giving the listing. AWS is not giving the listing for the unprivileged user. So that means the first user, to answer your question, the first user is the admin user who is going to keep all the privileges to himself. He is going to create all the groups, developer, tester, DBA, everything. He is going to attach the users to the relevant groups. All the developers will be attached to the developer group. They will have specific set of permissions called as policies. And with these policies and login credentials, each and every developer, each and every tester will log in as an IAM user. So any user will not be logging from now with this root user because he is not having the root user privilege right now. So he will be logging always as an IAM user and he will give his own credentials, developer name, tester name, whatever username, he will give that right now. That is how the IAM protects all the access and privileges for this particular account. Now, all are global right now, but there are some things, or apart from this, there are many things which are regional. Now, what is regional, what is global? We will see, but I will give you an example. If you try to create an instance, this is the same as your Netflix. If I'm in Netflix India, I can access only Netflix India content. If I want to have a US content, I have to be there in US, correct? No? Every region has got its own content. It stores all the data in that region, or at least it is able to access the data from that region. So AWS is widespread all over the world. Everyone is accessing. So what he did, he kept all his servers in different places so that people don't feel the network lag, right? No, so that latency, so they don't feel that. So all these services are regional. For example, if you see the EC2, which is creation of a virtual laptop, you can choose which region you belong to. I can choose Mumbai. I can choose, of course, being sitting in India, I can choose North California. That's not an issue, right? No, only that if I have huge applications, they may lag a bit, right? No, so if I want, I need to choose something like Mumbai or Singapore, which is very close, because the data centers for this region are kept in that relevant region. If I take Ohio, it will work. I can create instance sitting in India, but only that the data center is present in Ohio, in which case sometimes I may feel the lag. This is what is called as regional. Regional can have their own names repeated. The same name in Ohio can repeat in Mumbai. But if any service is global, IAM, if the service is mentioned as global, then you cannot have repeat, right? No? So every time when you pick a service, just see to the right whether it is showing global or it is showing any of these names. If it's showing any of these names, you can choose any name because it is regional, right? No? We'll talk more about the tomorrow. We'll talk tomorrow. Okay. We'll talk about regions, right? No? And then the edge locations. And then we'll talk about data centers. Okay. And then tomorrow we will do an exercise with IAM group, IAM user. Then we'll talk about roles. And tomorrow we'll try to finish the AWS organizations also. Of course, we are not going to go deep. We will take another time, but you need to know at this point of time what is an organization. So we will finish all of this tomorrow. So we'll do some exercises also. By the way, not today, but 3-4 classes later, right now, we will start to solve certification questions relevant to that chapter. Okay. Now it will be too early because a question will not be very specifically from IAM. It will be a mix of everything. So once we finish EC2 instance, when we try to create the instance with that knowledge, we will be able to solve the questions. So we'll try to take every class, we will take some 1 or 2 questions and we will try to solve. So you will have a practice right from the start on the certification question. So it will be easy for you. So we'll start doing that. If possible, I'll attach some quiz questions also, which you can do it at home. I'll give some exercises also for you. So all that, beyond, but in the class, we will do 1 or 2 problem solving with the certification questions. So tomorrow we'll meet the same time. Let me write it here. Tomorrow, that is, what is the date tomorrow? 9th, right? I hope it is 9th for you also. 9th November, we are meeting at IST. Can anyone tell your time? Let me put that also. One of you, any US time in which you are attending.
So is that the same time now? Because I'm
Yeah,
EST.
same time.
Okay, so that's 9:30 EST.
9:30. That is, you start at 9:30. Okay. Let me put that. So we will meet tomorrow then.
Is there any?
Anup, I'll do that. Sure. Anup, I'll give some practical assignment also. Not now, but we will get accustomed, then we will do. Yes, sure. Okay,
Yeah, that
meet
was
you
a question
tomorrow.
I had. A question.
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, if there's anything that we needed to do before tomorrow class, like pre-work or homework or something.
Not today. First 2 sessions are with me. Then I will slowly start giving you exercises because it's too early for me to give any exercise. But tomorrow, after end of tomorrow, I'll give you.
Understood.
Yeah. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Right.
Bye. See you.